Hi, hello, from a very sunny Manchester. Thank you all for your concerns, as most of you have probably already read or seen what happened in Manchester last night. As far as I can ascertain, it was a lone bomber, a suicide bomber, who was in the foyer of the Manchester Arena when Ariana Grande was performing. So of course the venue was packed with children, or teenagers, as well as mums and grannies. You know, there's a lot of confusion going on, as you might imagine, but the gist of it seems to be that he detonated the bomb when people were leaving. And there's been 22 people killed, mostly young ones I think, and 59 people injured at the last count. There's a few people that are missing, so unaccounted for. Unfortunately, they've just confirmed that one of the missing had died. She was 8 years old. Manchester people are wonderfully resilient, and as soon as this all happened, they were wonderful. You know, people were rallying round offering people lifts because the station was closed, you see. So a lot of them had come from outside of Manchester for this concert and couldn't get home. Hotels and things were throwing open their doors to anybody who was stuck and stranded and couldn't get home. Which is, as I say, good old Manchester. We rise above. I know it's a horrendous, horrendous thing to have happened, but the fighting spirit of Manchester will live on. And whoever was responsible, I'm not throwing out anything at the minute, whether anybody was responsible or not. I think it's wiser to get all the facts in before we start accusing anybody of anything. I don't know whether anybody's... I think somebody's actually said that people have claimed it as being a terrorist attack, but I don't know. Maybe it was just one lone, bomber who was a bit off his... We don't know it yet. I'm not going to make any judgments. And as far as I know, people that I know are not making any judgments. If it is a lone bomber, he could be acting on his own violation. It could be absolutely nothing to do with any political party or anything to do with anybody. So at this moment in time, I'm reserving my judgment, and I think a lot of my friends are too as well. But Manchester has a wonderful, wonderful spirit. It was evident during the war, it was evident during the IRA bombs in the 60s and things like that, that we have this, nothing's going to beat us, they might damage us, they might kill us, some of us, but we're still not going to give in, if you know what I mean. And I mean, I won't say life is back to normal in Manchester, because obviously it's not. All I will say that is people who can get to work, who can divert around all of this, have done, and life is getting back to normal as it can be in Manchester. People have been very concerned about me. Yes, I am only a couple of miles away from the Manchester Arena, and it is the road that I've taken you on my scooter, the main road, does directly go to Manchester Arena. So you could say that as the crow flies, I am quite near. But I didn't know anything about it, and till I switched on Facebook, and then reports were coming in and people were saying it was a hoax, and you were hoping it was a hoax, even though it was nasty if it was a hoax. But then eventually the truth was filtering through that it wasn't a hoax and it was indeed happening. It's just a great tragedy, that's all I can say. Especially as it's directed at children or teenagers or whatever. I think that is despicable. Whoever is saying they're responsible, it's despicable to aim something at children. Not that it's fine to kill adults, I'm not saying that, but I think it's particularly despicable to aim this at children. Anyway, as I say, I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm not laying any blame at anybody's door. I just want to know the facts before I make any comments, because it's unfair to speculate. It's, unfair to condemn one lot of people against another lot of people when they don't know. And even if he is from a certain race or a certain colour or whatever, that doesn't mean to say he has the backing of anyone else except himself. That is yet all to be proved, hasn't it? Yeah. He could be just one lone nutter let loose in Manchester. I mean, I kind of would have hoped that if he was walking into the foyer with a bag, because apparently he was going in as everybody else was like coming out, but you would have thought the security might have checked his bag, but that's all by the by, and it's all here's hindsight, you know, after the fact, isn't it? So I'll keep you updated anyway, whatever. Oh, I've got something in my eye now. I'll keep you updated if anything more concrete comes. But as I can say, people who live around here, well done Manchester, we won't be beaten. You might try to do things to us, but the spirit of Manchester lives on and we will not be beaten. Right, what have I got aside from all of that? I got a lovely gift today from Karen. As you know, I sent a few things down, some yarn and some crochet baby things and things for her charity that she does, which is Woolly Hugs. So I didn't expect anything in return, and I got a very, very lovely note, and she sent me these candles, and she said it's in a diamond because that's what I am. Isn't that cute? Isn't that nice of her? I'm not a diamond. If I am, I'm a rough one. And they smell absolutely gorgeous. And she sent me some beads, which I love, that she's made herself, which I think are all the more treasurable when I get myself untangled because they are self-made. I won't say homemade because that makes it sound horrible, doesn't it? They're made with love and crafted. That's what I should say. They're crafted by Karen, and they're beautiful beads, aren't they? Look at those lovely colours, which are absolutely gorgeous. And then she also sent me another necklace, which again is gorgeous. It's beautiful, like faceted stones. I don't know if you see them or not. They're absolutely lovely. Thank you very much, Karen. I didn't expect anything in return. I was just happy to help a charity. I would do more for charity, but postage is horrendous, as Karen will tell you. And it does kind of take the edge off things, especially when I got my bank statement yesterday and it was, oh, do not buy anymore. I mentioned when Sue was here that the book had come. I mean, would you presume that that was French, looking at it? Especially when it says London Crochet. And I opened it up and I said, to Sue, I can't understand why I've never seen this book before. Then I opened it and I thought, oops, it's looking very Frenchified. Le matériel. Fortunately, between Sue and I, with our little pigeon bits of French, we did manage to decipher quite a bit of it. I won't say I'm disappointed with the book. I'm never disappointed with a crochet book. But I'm disappointed in the fact that it's drawings rather than actual photos. I think somebody else said that, but they were talking about a sewing pattern. That's called Petit Manches, or Manche, elbow length gloves. But you see, from that I can't tell whether that's a very, very wide open or whether that's just like a section of the crochet blown up, you know, magnified. Oh, in view of Manchester's terrible troubles, blown up was not the right word to use there, Janet. You know what I mean, magnified. We think this is a scarf. It appears to be done in different weights of yarn, like, you know, wool or fancy yarn as well. You see, I can't believe that anything is quite that lacy. I may be wrong. This is why I would have liked an actual photograph, really. Same with that one. You know, I really can't believe that the motifs are that big. But who knows until you have a try. That one is just flowers, flowers. There's Not the bag, it's just the flowers. And that one's pochette, which I think is like a little clutch bag, we would call them. But of course I'm going to be wearing one of those on the decking this summer. Not. I think that is the belt actually, and whatever those trimmings are on the stockings, because there's pictures of buckles all around there, so I think it's just for the belt. You see, that's the skirt, and I can't believe that the skirt is that open work. I just wish there was photos. As I said before, I'm sounding like a broken record, aren't I? Of course, Sue likes that, the bustier, because she likes how he waistcoats. If I ever make anything, I shall let you know. And that's some kind of a bonnet, ready for the winter. And this one's, well, it says jeté de lit, so I think it's for the bed, isn't it? Granny square blanket, in other words. And that one is the shrug. I mean, there is a little bit of a better sort of picture of it, which is kind of still drawn, but that's it. I mean, if I want to make anything, I can sort of stumble my way through with my little very, very elderly French that came from school, which was more years ago than I care to remember. Anyway, what I couldn't show you yesterday, because Gigi was sleeping everywhere, he is sleeping on the chair at the minute, so I'm taking a reprise, because I've actually not nursed him this morning, so I'm not full of hair. Excuse me, I needed that. What I was trying to show you, which I couldn't show because of the doggy hair, was I have to try and keep my crocheting for other people away from Gigi altogether. I've even got a white apron that I keep just for my crocheting, which I would put on if he's around to crochet with, so that I don't get hair off me onto my customers. But however, sadly, I've noticed there's one or two pieces of Gigi on this, which I will have to pick off with tweezers before it gets sent off. That's the finished shrug. It's the, well, if you look at my last video, you'll know what the pattern is. Gulf Coast shrug. So that's the finished purple one. It's Emperor Purple in Stylecraft double knitting, and it took just into the 4 100-gram balls. This one is again Stylecraft, and this is pretty. It's just minus its sleeves at the minute. It's all finished off, but apart from, you know, tails, but I'll be using those to sew the sleeves in. It's all finished off. All the pieces are done, in other words. And just the 2 sleeves that want sewing in. That's the trouble, you see, I call it finished when it wants sleeves putting in. They'll get put in, don't worry. If you're watching whoever ordered it from me, it will get sleeves in before it gets sent off. And then the third one I'm making, I'm using a different yarn. And it's James C. Brett double knitting. And it is working out thicker than the other 2. Not thicker, just marginally thicker. But it meant I'd had to adjust it by going down to a slightly smaller size to achieve the same size. So that's this one. That's as far as I've got with this one. As you can see, it's all in one. But I only had 3 balls of this and I needed 4. So you'll have to forgive me, I did order from Derrimores? Yes, it's on its way anyway. I ordered 1 ball of that and 4 of another. I still had to pay postage, but I intend to use the other 4 that's coming with it for another one of these to go on my Etsy shop. So that's really about it. to say, obviously. I mean, it's just been a sad day really in Manchester, a very sad day. If you're keeping abreast of the news, you know, I will update you as and when I know anything different, but at the moment it's still the same situation as it was, which is 22 dead, I think. Although maybe there's more now, and 59 injured. And as I said, hopefully there is no hysteria here in Manchester. We're not known for our hysteria. That there won't be any repercussions against innocent people who happen to be vaguely related or know the guy who's done all of this. As I say, we don't know for sure who he is yet. His name's not been released. So just keep calm, everybody. If you're from Manchester or anywhere else, just keep calm, as we are keeping calm. And I just send out all my love and my sympathies to everybody that was caught up in it. You know, the families of the people who are deceased, and the families of the people who are injured, and those who've just been shocked by it all, you know, deafened by I believe the explosion deafened quite a few people. And a lot of people got injuries because the bomb was made up of nuts and bolts and things that flew in the air. So, whilst a lot of people were not severely injured, a lot of people caught a nut and a bolt and a screw coming flying through the air at them. But cowardly trick, and not great. It doesn't bring any sympathy towards the cause if it was anybody linked to terrorism, which I'm not saying it was. Don't know at the moment, so don't quote me on saying it was terrorist. Don't know. But if it was a remarkably cowardly thing to do. That's all I'm going to say. Even if it was just a lone bomber, he's still a coward in my eyes. That's not a thing that you would do to your fellow human beings. Walk into a crowded place and detonate a bomb. Nobody in their right mind would do that. Well, that's my thoughts on this. Anyway, I've not got anything else to say except Gigi and I have been out on the decking. I had to pop to see my GP to see about these antibiotics for me knee with cellulitis, although he you know, true GP contradicts what the hospital says and says I don't think it's that. But I'll give you a course of antibiotics and we'll see what happens. But I don't think they're going to make any difference. Thank you to my GP for that vote of confidence. I'm pinning my hopes on something wonderful happening when I take them. So life goes on. My back is continuing to be absolutely fabulous. It's not pain-free by any stretch of the imagination, but I just feel out of that naggy, crippling feeling that it was with me every day. You know, every time I got up off the chair, it was like... You know, I try not to moan about it because nobody wants to moan, do they? You don't want to sit and listen to me moaning. But you only know how bad it was when it stops. And for the moment, it has stopped. For how long it's going to stop for, I don't know. If I can get 6 months out of it, I'll be over the moon, because that means I can have another injection. I can only have one every 6 months. So just keep your fingers crossed that mine will last longer than the 3 that it's bound to, and the 6 if I'm lucky. So just say, hope that I'm the lucky one that's going to get 6 months out of this, because it just feels so nice to actually walk upright. I know it sounds a bit silly, but walking upright, we walk straight instead of going like that everywhere. I've just been sitting out on the deck and thinking, nah, this is so great. Normally I'd be sitting there thinking, I've got to move in a minute because my back's hurting, I've got to move in a minute because my hip's hurting. It felt so nice, yeah. And I'm reading a weird book at the moment called Wacky Women or something, or Wacky. I'll tell you about it in another video anyway. It's about the ladies who, in society, who are a bit like me, you know, a bit sort of out of step with the rest of the world. How we dress, the way we do and how we think the way we do. I dress more conservative, you might not think so, but I dress more conservatively than how I feel inside. Today this is quite flamboyant for some people, but it's just a normal top to me. It's not weird or wacky or wonderful. My head, I'm like gypsy-ish, I'm like long flowy skirts and long flowy hair, which I can't do because my hair doesn't flow anywhere, it's too thin. But, well, my niece did try to dye my hair grey. What's that? That was a little moth or something. Grey at the weekend. But all that happened was I had a few faint blue streaks. Never mind. It is going grey at the sides on its own. Well, it's going white, thankfully. Just want these white streaks, the both sides, to spread all over my head. And no, I can't let it grow out because it's still resolutely brown. Oh well. One of my neighbours going past. So, I'm going to let you go now. So thank you once again, Karen, for this lovely, lovely gift. Totally unexpected. You didn't need to do anything like that for me. Totally unexpected. And I will update you as and when I can with regard to the situation in Manchester. But please don't worry about me. I'm a couple of miles away and I'm fine. In fact, Kelly is nearer to the actual, you know, I'm Jan inspired. Kelly's nearer to the venue than I am. So, but like me, she probably didn't hear anything because we were probably watching TV at that time. And I don't think the explosions were loud enough for that. I mean, when we had the IRA bomb in Manchester, I actually heard that. That was so loud. You know, it was like you thought it was in your own town. And that was not too far away from where the explosion was yesterday. Now that was shattering, that one. It's a good job there was not many people around at the time, because I don't think anybody was killed in that one, thank goodness. But that devastated the centre of Manchester. It blew windows out, made buildings unsafe. If you want to look it up, just look up. In some ways it was a good thing because they renovated Manchester city centre and made it into a really beautiful centre to shop in. But I'd still rather have wished that it never had happened and that Manchester would still be its old self, if you know what I'm saying. But even after that, people of Manchester refused to be beaten down. They went about their business as soon as they could after the bomb went off. Back to work, you know. There was no hiding in corners, cringing, you know, like, oh, we're down, we're scared, we can't go to work. We're not like that, we're British. Or I should say Englishy. We're British people and we are very resilient. And Hitler couldn't bow us in the war. And whoever this is not going to bow us. We're not going to bow down to it. No way. We're going to be us. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go now. So I will say goodbye all. And please don't worry about me. I'm absolutely fine. Oops. See, I'm moving a lot better. Bye now.